Oh, my. Oh my gosh. Wow. Aren't we just having a great day today? Anyway, hello. Welcome to the Saturday morning ritual. I'm Deanna and I need a second. 1 second, because this is just going to be a mess. Hold on. 1 minute. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so welcome. I'm glad you're here. Hello, howdy, Cheryl, Missy, and everyone who is joining us. Can you hear me all right? Is everything okay? I don't know. I'm just running late. I'm running late today, but I had to be here. So that's the thing. I had to be here. Helen, hello and welcome. Welcome. So, long time no see. Hope you've missed me. I have missed you immensely. I have seriously missed you very, very much. I am, again, like a little bit disorganized this morning, but that's the way things go. So, what have I been up to? I have been spinning poi. That's pretty much, I've been working, I have been spinning poi, and that is the, and going to work. That's pretty much it. Childhood joys, our subconscious mind. We're going to talk a lot. Oh my God, my glasses are so dirty today. We're going to talk about childhood joys a little bit today. And poi, it's funny because as I was practicing, it kind of reminded me of whenever I was a kid, like in elementary school. So we had I have a lot of stories around jump rope for your heart, I believe it was. They had these jump ropes and you pledged and you jumped and blah, 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 and all this stuff. But I used to like to choreograph routines to songs with the jump rope. So like me and my friends, and we would like do, synchronized jump rope, I guess. But there would be like, times whenever you would cross your arms and times when you would not cross your arms, and jumping and spinning and doing all of these things. It was like this, it was huge whenever I was a kid. But the poi is a lot kind of like that in a way, except for you're not jumping as much, because I'm not a big jumper. Hello, welcome. Oh my God, you guys are so nice for being here today. Just thank you so much. That just brings so much. I don't even have words. Anyway, it's really, it's special that you guys are here. Thank you. So that was huge. And a lot of times whenever people are talking about like finding your purpose or whatever, they're always often talking about, what did you like to do whenever you were a kid? And that was one of the things that I liked to do whenever I was a kid. So it's funny that here I am kind of doing the same thing in a different way, just, so many years later. Oh my God. My birthday's next week. I'm going to be so old, ladies, so old. But in the prime of my life, just trying to do the best that I can. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, the things that we like to do whenever we were kids is funny. A few weeks ago, we were talking about our subconscious mind and our beliefs and why we have to listen to our innermost thoughts and correct them when they're trying to give us outdated information. How is that going for you? Are you listening to your thoughts? Are you trying to correct yourself when you're telling yourself, silly things that aren't true anymore? How's it going for you with that? How's it going? Just curious. Our subconscious mind often influences our behaviors and our automatic responses in just like every day in life. But we're going to get into that today, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be quite enlightening. But before we do that, we have a ritual to do because it's the Saturday morning ritual, and that's what we do here. We follow our rituals. But we're here today to reflect on the past week and to set strategies for the week ahead, because I think that two heads are better than one. So that's why we joined together as a group, a community, to support each other, to support our growth, to support our hard times, where we can celebrate our success, where we can grow from our challenges. Oh my gosh, so many things that we can do here. Just develop our self-awareness and all the things. So we already played the intro song. So the next up in the wonderful Saturday morning ritual is the brain-body connection, one of my favorite things, because I believe that our minds and our bodies are connected. Whenever we have our bodies moving, our brains kind of move a little bit faster as well. So it's always good to just wake your body up because it gets your mind going too. Have you ever felt like you were just kind of in a slump and tired at work, and you get up from your desk and you go for a walk and then you feel like rejuvenated and better? That's kind of like the same thing kind of at play there. It's all connected. It wakes up whenever our body is awake, our mind is awake. So we're going to just get up. Okay, I'm still wearing my pajama pants because I didn't have time to change clothes. Just telling you that I'm wearing fur behind. So they're my dragon pants and I don't match today and I don't care. I'm here and I'm doing the thing. And that is really what is important. It's important that we show up for ourselves and do the things. So you get me in my pajama pants. We're going to get up. We're going to move our body just for a minute and just wake up. So let's go. That's not where we're supposed to be. Here we go. This is going to be better.
Come on, let yourself be free. Be the best that you can be. Come move your body.
Yeah.
Come move your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come move your body. Come move your body. There's no fire without smoke. I ain't letting it go. I can see you buzzing like you can't say no. There's no fire without smoke. I ain't letting it go. Go. Come on, let yourself be free. Be the best that you can be. Come move your body. Come move your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come move your body. Come move your body. Come on, let yourself be free. Be the best that you can be. Come move your body. Come move your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come move your body. Come move your body.
All right. Okay. So, wow, it's so loud.
So many lights with us tonight.
Okay. Now we're back. We're better. We're doing the thing. Okay. Age is only a number. That's right. Age is only a number. Where am I? There I am. Hi. Smash a like. Yes, do that. Definitely. Hello. I'm glad you're listening. You're at work. You've been working too hard lately, Mary. Working too hard. That's all I got to say. Woohoo. All right. Wow. Just wow. That's all I got to say is wow. Okay. Before we get into the whole topic of the week, we want to take a look at the past week. and share your victories. So since we last met, what victories have you had? I'm sure you've had a lot because it feels like forever. I know I only missed 2 weeks in a row, which is terrible and whatever, but it feels like I've missed so much. So tell me about your victories. Tell me about your great successes. Brag about yourself. Let me know all the awesome, amazing things that you have done. All the awesome, amazing things that you have done. Put them in the chat. If you're watching the replay, put them in the comments and I'll come by and I'll say, yay, you. Go you. Let me know. Nobody's had victories in 2 weeks since, May, I don't know, like 15th or something. Nobody's had a wonderful, awesome victory that they want to share with the class. Why do you want to re-say it like that? I have an amazing victory, but I can't share it. I have to wait until I do my weekly video to share it. But I have an amazing victory about my habit tracker. Okay. My habit tracker score is very good. It's on the very good scale. That's all I'm going to say. We had a job interview for a new job. A new job is always so exciting to get a new job. It's always fun. Like whenever something's brand new, it's exciting. Exciting. I have worked for the same company for over 20 years now. I took a break in the middle. So I worked for them for 10 years and then I took a break whenever I lived in Florida and now I've worked for them for 10 years again. So yay, that's a big milestone. I get more vacation now, so that's kind of cool. So celebrate your victories. It's really important that we celebrate our victories. And I'm going to give you a minute to think harder about those victories. Maybe you want to go further back in time. You can go further back in time. Like you can go back the last year, last 6 months, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is. We're going to take a minute. We're going to think about our victories. And I want you to thank yourself. I want you to write yourself a thank you letter. Thank yourself for the victory. Thank yourself for the actions that you did, for the commitment that you had, for the perseverance that you showed in order to achieve that. Be so detailed in this thank you letter. That's really the key. It helps you to feel the appreciation and the gratitude, not just for what you achieved, but for the actions, for those moments when you didn't want to, but you did it anyway. Show gratitude for these actions that got you to where you are, to that thing that you wanted, that you achieved. Thank yourself for that. So we're going to take a minute here and we are just going to do that. Thank yourself. Thank yourself. Thank yourself. Thank yourself. Thank yourself. Here we go.
So many lights with us tonight, night. Don't let them go to waste. Look into my eyes. It's gonna be alright. Tomorrow's gonna be okay. One moment, one shot. That's all we got. One moment, one shot. I don't belong to somewhere else than where I lay my bags. It's so hard to stay up and don't hide away behind the same old mask. But tonight I got the cool and I wanna go dance with you. So if you are in the mood, it's worth it. We don't belong with masks on, leave them here and don't look back. So many lights with us tonight, night. Don't let them go to waste. Look into my eyes. One moment, one shot. That's all we got. One moment, so many lights, lights, lights with us tonight, night, night. Don't let them go to waste. Look into my eyes, eyes, eyes. It's gonna be right, right, right. Tomorrow's gonna be okay. One moment, one shot. One moment, one shot. That's all we got. One moment, one shot.
Yeah. One moment, one shot, one moment. That's not true, is it? We have more than one moment and we have more than one shot. But sometimes it can be beneficial to kind of think in that way, but it's not true. It's not true. We have all the chances that we need. We have what we need. Having a hard time thinking, but I understand how that goes. And that's when we need our friends. That's when we need our community. That's when we need our support system to help us get past it a little bit, you know? Because we're all going to have those crappy hard times. And that's what our friends are for. They're to help us through those times. So definitely. That was an extra long song because I really wanted you to try and feel the gratitude, feel the appreciation of yourself. You did that. You did that. And that should just feel really amazing and good. And we should always remember that. Sometimes some of our big achievements are years ago, are months ago. And we kind of tend to forget about how hard we worked. And it shouldn't diminish over time because something big, you know, sometimes it's worth remembering. It's worth, you know, having those feelings. So just wanted to kind of get you extra time to really feel it. So we're not going to talk about any of our setbacks this week. We just kind of like threw that away. It's no longer part of the programming. We're just awesome, and we're just going to be awesome, and we're going to forget about anything that didn't go our way. But we are going to talk about the topic of the week, and that is our subconscious mind that's at work, and it's there. It's guiding us. Its job is to conserve energy. It doesn't want us to have to work too hard every day in our lives. So it's just trying to make things extra, extra simple for us. And that's what it's doing. So it's going to take everything that we do, all of our experiences, all of our memories, all of the emotions, everything that we've learned, and it's going to store them and it's going to use it for future reference. And it recognizes these patterns so that we can make quick decisions based on all that stuff that we've stored away. So it's helped us in ways to make habits that are good for us, but it's also done this in order to make habits. And I love habits. I love habits, even the bad habits. I love them. They're just so fascinating to me. I just am passionate about habits. It's my thing. But we have habits that we started really early in childhood that they kind of persist into adulthood. Do you guys want to guess what any of the habits around weight loss, maybe, preferably, that you might have picked up in childhood that persist on to this day? Anybody want to guess some of those habits? Habits around food and eating that you might have formed whenever you were a child. Haha, food is a reward. Yes. Many children are taught to view dessert as a reward for finishing meals or behaving well. This association between dessert and positive reinforcement often has adults, us as adults, seeking our sweets or desserts as a form of comfort or reward in response to stress or emotional triggers. Emotional non-eating, yes, that is definitely one as well. Definitely one as well. It's the it can be looked at in a lot of different ways. Some people often felt the need to punish themselves for things when they weren't getting punishment in other ways. So that can be one way. The Clean Plate Club. Oh my gosh, Clean Plate Club, where you're encouraged to finish everything on your plate. That was, we were kind of, but we had to sit at the table for an extra long time if we didn't eat our food. And only if our plates were clean could we leave the table. But as long as you could like wait it out, you didn't have to eat all that stuff. But the Clean Plate Club, for sure. In my family, it was huge that eating fast, because I had two older brothers and then my mom and my dad. And if we were having something that was extra yummy, if you wanted like a second serving of whatever, everything was served family style on the plates, on the table. So we had, everything in the bowls and on serving dishes and whatnot. But if you were going to want a second serving of whatever, you had to eat fast, because I was competing with two older brothers who were going to get to it before me. So I had to learn how. So I took on eating really fast, because if they were serving up my favorite dish that day, I wanted to make sure that I got, a second serving and not them. So that was the thing. I was not taught not to drink my drink until I finished my food. So my stomach, really? Wow. You were taught that? That's interesting. That was interesting. Oh, wow. You were taught that? Oh, my. You guys were, I was taught to eat fast. And here you guys are coming up with the big, big things. How about snacking while watching TV? Were you taught to do that one? Eating while watching TV. So I think that, especially for me, the television was a big babysitter. So it was like, here's your TV, here's your snacks, have a great day. Now we get to go and, have the adults get to have their moment of peace and quiet. So that was, something that we did. Dessert before bed. Oh my gosh. Awesome one. Bad for digestion. Oh. I still don't drink with my meals. I only drink I rarely ever have a sip of anything while I'm drinking a meal. It's not, my husband will drink like a huge old glass of water with his meal, not me. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. How about after school snacks? Did you have after school snacks whenever you were a kid? So you'd come home from school and you would grab a snack to hold you over until dinner time? After school snacks? After school snacks? Anyone? Emotional eating? Just, I see parents doing this all the time, that a child is upset and you don't really know why they're upset. You don't know how to calm them down. And you're offering them food to help them not be sad, to help them not be angry or mad or have whatever tantrum they're having. And that can also turn into, oh, this is how I deal with my emotions, is by eating, because that was what I was always given as a way to calm myself, and it worked. So I'm going to keep returning that. Loved after school snacks. My parents wouldn't be home until later, so I could snack without. Oh my God. Yes. Oh, I would. So we were home from the time we got out of school until my mom didn't get home till 5, and we were home alone the the three of us kids. And yeah, definitely. We didn't get no grief for what snacks we had. It was like they were all in the house for us to have, but we didn't get any, looks or comments and it was kind of like freeing, it was like, oh, I know that feeling. It was always more than snacks. We had our snacks. And then, you didn't eat lunch because I wanted to save my lunch money so that I can spend that on whatever I wanted to, not on my lunch. And then, so you're starving by the time you get home. Anybody else do that other than me? You save your lunch money selfishly and not spend it on lunch? What about fast food or takeout dinners, relying on convenience food? Was that anything that you experienced as a young child? We had a very busy lifestyle. We had after school activities many days of the week whenever I was a young kid, and we would often have takeout and convenience food because we were running and going. As soon as the parents would come home, we would pick us up and we would go to whatever after school activity, and that wouldn't be over until like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. And so we're just like running home and then going right to bed so that we could get up and go to school or whatever it was the next day. So we were like always on the go, not really home that much. Double cheeseburger and double order of fries almost every day. We didn't have fries at school. Quick and easy, quick and easy. So even learning how to like cook non-processed foods was something that I didn't really learn as much until I was an adult, because everything came from convenience foods. It was always something packaged or whatnot that you would make. Me too. That's pretty much how I learned everything. And it wasn't until I was an adult that I really learned how to make things from fresh ingredients. Like somebody was like talking about making spaghetti sauce. And I'm like, you make your own spaghetti sauce? Like what? And I'm like, you don't get it just from a jar? Like, no, they make their own spaghetti sauce. And I learned how to make spaghetti sauce. Like there's all kinds of like crazy things, but they put so much stuff in the jarred stuff, it's so much better if you take the time to make it for yourself. What about food preferences and aversions? Did any of those develop for you whenever you were a kid? Like, oh my gosh, like the only spinach we ever had was this mush spinach that came from like a frozen box of spinach, and it was steamed in the microwave, I think. And it was gross. It was gross. For me, it was gross for me. Some people like it. I understand. Everybody has their own things that they like. For me, it's a no. It was just gross, and it makes me want to gag. And I thought that I didn't like spinach at all. Like, no, spinach, no. Never. Not going to have it. Okay, I like spinach. I just don't like spinach cooked like that. Did you have any food preferences or aversions? So I really tell people, like, you have to experiment with your food as you grow, as you evolve in life. Your taste buds change, your preferences change, the cooking methodologies change. Like, Brussels sprouts was one. Oh my God, they're heaven. Heaven, if you know how to cook them right. Heaven. Oh my gosh. That's the only thing. I agree. Yes, ma'am. Correct. 100%. So we can often develop food preferences and aversions based on things in childhood. Like, have you ever met a person who's just like one of those like really picky eaters that they like chicken strips and that's like the only thing they ever eat, or something else? I don't know. But it was just okay. Their parents didn't mind. They were like, okay, it's better to just give you chicken strips every single meal, and that's all you ever eat. because then I don't have to listen to you complain or cry or whatever. But then they never ever grow out of that. Gotten much better. So sometimes we have to, change. We have to adapt. We have to become better. And it can be, you think that you don't like certain foods, but you just haven't given it an honest try. Give it an honest try. Give it a try. Hello, Tuber Chat. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. So we've a lot. Oh, mealtime rules and traditions. Do you have any mealtime rules and rituals and traditions? I'm sorry, mealtime rituals and traditions. Do you have any of those? Sometimes, like, do you have anything? A ritual that we had whenever I went to the doctor. After the doctor, I would always get a milkshake. So it's still to this day comes up in my head that after I go to the doctor, I should be going to get a milkshake. It's just a ritual. It's just a tradition. It's like what we would do. And I learned that from a very early age. For some people, it can be that you only get certain foods at certain times for whatever reason. So there's all kinds of different things. And I think that a lot of these are pretty, known. They're commonplace. They're things that we've worked on. They're patterns that are commonplace. Dentist visits always followed by McDonald's or Subway. Yep. It's like one of those things. And it's funny. I love it. So over time, our brain sees these patterns, and it's just trying to avoid pain, create pleasure. So it'll use these things as we grow, as we get older. But they're and I know that they're really common. That's what I was trying to say. Snacking after school snacks can turn into, as soon as you walk in the door from work, you feel like you need to grab a snack, even though you're not hungry. You don't really need a snack. These things like translate into life later on, but there's other ones that we have. There are other patterns that we have in our life that aren't as obvious to us because they're not always so, what's the word I'm looking for? Instantaneously, they're like bigger. They're a bigger pattern is what I guess what I'm trying to say. For a lot of people, there's a pattern that they don't yet recognize, and it's about quitting their diet around the same time. Maybe it's every year around October, November, you quit because life just gets so busy with all the things going on. Maybe it's around your birthday. Maybe it's a number on the scale that is tripping you up. And it's so sometimes hard to recognize because these are just things in our subconscious that are happening. Your brain might have saw that the last 4 times that you tried to lose weight, you quit in November. So in November, it's trying to throw up all of these different ways for you to quit, to stop, to not do it, because it knows from your past that you quit. It knows from the past that you weren't the most happiest with yourself, and it wants you to avoid that. It's trying to help you. It's trying to protect you. It's trying to prevent sadness from happening. But it doesn't necessarily realize that it's also causing it at the same time. But it's trying to help you out. Maybe you had somebody break up with you, or you lost a job, or something else tragic and sad happened when you were a certain weight or a certain size. And somehow subconsciously, your mind, your brain associates these two events together. And it says, oh my God, you were so hurt and you were in so much pain. And it thinks that it's related to the number on the scale, that job loss or that heartbreak or whatever was related to that number on the scale. It doesn't want you to have to go through that. It connected them somehow, don't know how, but it wants you to avoid the pain. So it's trying to throw up all these different ways for you to not follow through in order to avoid the pain. Our brain is very, very tricky in the way that it works. It is just crazy. Maybe it's, the 7-week mark of a diet. There's so many different patterns. Oh my gosh. There's so many patterns. And that's why we all have to take a look at ourselves. We all have to be self-aware of what we're doing. We have to zoom out and look at the big picture sometimes to see what is going on. Maybe you're a person that's completely gets obsessed with things. There's just so much. We have to look to ourselves to find out what the pattern is, to see if there's a pattern there. And then we have to work on erasing that thought, erasing those patterns, changing it, telling our brain that that's not true. You're seeing it incorrectly. It's hard to do. It is. Yeah. It is hard to do. Mm-hmm. It definitely is. Perhaps every time you attended family gatherings or social events, you overindulged because that's how you were raised, how you coped with social anxiety. So your subconscious just expects that's how you're going to handle the situation now. Mm-mm-mm. If you are always given rewards as a kid around food for getting good grades or for being well behaved or different things like that, it can be really hard. Your brain's like, where's my reward? Where's my reward? Where's my reward? And you might tell it no like 4 or 5 or 6 times. And it's still thinking, but where's my reward? So it's throwing up rewards. It's giving you cravings. It's making you jittery. It could even make you crabby. And you might think, oh, well, this would make me a little happier. All kinds of crazy ways that our subconscious brain works. We have to try and think with our prefrontal cortex. We have to try and just outsmart it and know that these are the decisions that are right for us. This is what we need to be doing. And it can be very, very tricky, but I think that journaling and tracking can be really helpful with that. And that's where it all comes back to journaling and tracking, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you like, hello, welcome to Syria. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to see you today. Mm-hmm. So journaling and tracking, whenever we're journaling and we're tracking our actions, we can notice if they're not in line with our goals. We can notice if there is a pattern. We can notice if every time I see Tom, I don't follow through with what my intentions were. Well, maybe we need to do something about Tom. I don't know. But we can look back. We can reflect on those things. We can then make adjustments to deal with them. But if we don't know what's going on, if we're not seeing the patterns, and a lot of times we can't see the patterns because there's no documentation to show us that it ever happened. And we forget. We forget so easily. Can you tell me what you wore on May the 3rd? Can you tell me what you wore on May the 3rd? Can you tell me what you ate on May the 3rd? Just remembering. What about the week after that, on May 10th? Do you know that? Which wore, which ate, without looking it up? We can't remember all these things. So if we don't have it documented somewhere, how are we supposed to see the patterns that are involved? That's where tracking and journaling can come into play. It can help us recognize those patterns and events so that we can then accommodate for those. We can make changes based on what our patterns and things are. So now, here's the ticket. Here's the thing, though. Change. This is Misty said change up here earlier. When did she say change? She said, oh, yeah. I still had it highlighted, even. I think it's easier to stay who you were versus changing into someone new. Change is hard, but I choose my hard now. How many people have said change is hard? How many people have said I don't like change? Have you ever had those nice, fun words come out of your mouth? Change is hard. I don't like change. What are you reinforcing whenever you say things like that in your mind? That it's hard, that you don't like it, that's not fun. It might not even be true. Ask yourself that. Sometimes it's not easy. But why do we have to make it hard? Why don't we just say change is something I'm capable of? Change is something I'm actively doing. Change is something I'm working on. I actually like change. I like technology. I like how it has changed my life. I like, there are different things that we can say. We have to be, it's sneaky. It's very sneaky the way that these words, they matter. Words matter. Words matter. So some other things that we can do. First of all, we have to work on our thoughts. We have to work on thinking what we're thinking about. We have to work on our patterns and recognizing our patterns. So these are things that we need to work on if we see that we have these things come into our lives. We can work on our self-image and our identity. Our identity is huge. Our identity plays such an important part in all of this. If you're the person who thinks that I always quit my diets, I can never work out for, months and months in a row. If that's part of your identity, chances are that you're going to prove yourself true. You're going to make it, that's what you're going to do again. But if you're a person who is growing and changing and achieving the things that they set out to do, that becomes your identity. I am a person who, you are a person who does. Loki is a dog who popped out the window. Let's just give him a minute. Hey, that's really loud. Lay down. Loki. Anyway, so we want to work on our self-image. We want to work on our identity. We want to have gratitude for ourselves and appreciate the changes that we have made along the way and the changes that we are making so that we can set our intentions for our future. So whenever we start to set intentions for the future, that is giving our brain a roadmap to this is where we are going. This is where we are headed. We are not going down that same path that we've always gone. So when you go to work, for those of us who still drive to work occasionally, do you take the same route every single day? Do you take the same route every single day? Sometimes we have to change our route up so that we get out of the same habits and things. I'm trying to think of a word and I can't think of it. Yes, it is. That is so true. Oh. It's often like one of the most important steps, actually, because for some, they will never learn unless they have that failure. So failure is a blessing. It is a good thing. It is helpful. It is just essential. For some people, it's very, very important. So, if we're driving to work, yeah, you might find yourself repeating negative things about work on your drive. And if you really pay attention, it's at a certain mile marker. You start to get the dread thing going on. But if you change up your route, if you take a different way, that cue, that prompt that's on your way, you don't see it. And now you get to actually enjoy your whole entire way into work without getting caught up into that negative thought cycle. It's kind of like that. There's all kinds of different examples of these weird things, but if we just change up our little habits, we change up our routines, but we have to actively do that. Have you ever gone to work and you wanted to take a different route to work because, maybe I have extra time today and I want to run to XYZ errand on my way, but then you found yourself, you get in your car, and then all of a sudden you're already at work and you forgot to take that different route. You just went on autopilot. You just went to work. We have to stay present. We have to stay with it and not let that autopilot engage. That's why I think that sleep is one of the key things that you can do, because when you are well rested, you have more energy, you have more resources to be able to not go to autopilot. But whenever you are low on energy, when you're low on those resources, when you haven't gotten enough sleep, it's really hard to make choices and decisions without going into autopilot. This is what I've always done. That's why sleep is so important, because then you can do the hard work that needs to be done in order to change. If you don't have the energy and the resources and stuff, it's a more difficult battle that you're facing because you're just so drained. So just some things to think about for this week. So we're going to journal again today, and we are going to, hey, Teresa, hello, welcome. So happy to see you today. It's a pleasure. We're going to talk about, did any of these things stand out for you? Any of these habits or patterns, something that you developed in a long time ago? You've had it going on for years, and it's, taking up space in your life right now, and you don't want it to. Can you set a clear intention for how you want to change that behavior? And what new patterns would you like to establish? So think about some specific actions that you could take to reprogram your subconscious mind, and how you're going to remind yourself of these new actions, these new beliefs daily. How are you going to do that? So if you haven't already, on my website, adventuresofdeanna.com, there's a journaling sheet that you can download, and it's got a whole bunch of great questions that you can answer yourself about self-image and identity, and how to be grateful, and how to have some self-appreciation. All of these different things on setting intentions and things like that. Just some tools that I find helpful in my life that really can help me whenever I'm having a hard time, whenever I'm going through it. Because change isn't always the most, awesomest thing in the whole wide world, but sometimes it is. Trying to think about how can I say it and not say change is hard but necessary. So anyway, so we're going to journal really quick. So what I want you to do, again, we're going to think about, did any of these things that we talked about today, any of these habits from childhood stand out to you? And how do you intend to change it in the future? So let's do that, and then we'll be back, and it'll all.
Really wanna know really wanna know.
Why is this not on the right page? Anybody know? Anybody know? Anybody know? Christina's just not. Here we go. Oh, I don't know. Here we go. We're going to just do it to this song. Have fun.
Took some time, but we pointed out that tomorrow isn't here right now, baby. An absent mind came to roam around. Captured you in a foggy cloud, baby. Standing on my toes on the edge, I'm ready to go. See it clear when the shadows are lit, I'm ready to go. I'm taking matters into my own hands now. Let's face it, we only got this life to live out. So follow me, I'm ready to go. I'll take the lead, I'm ready to go. Bumps in the road, many obstacles. But when we fall, we get up and go, baby. The way they think is paradoxical. Captured you in a foggy cloud, baby. Standing on my toes on the edge, I'm ready to go. See it clear when the shadows are lit, I'm ready to go. I'm taking matters into my own hands now. Let's face it, we only got this life to live out. So follow me, I'm ready to go. I'll take the lead, I'm ready to go. Ready to go.
All right. So down in the chat, I posted some. Oh, no, don't do that. Oh, wait. Stop. Okay. So in the chat, I posted some questions, some just things that we can think about to help us with our, our self-belief, our identity, because for some of us, that's one of the key issues that we need to work on is our identity and our beliefs about ourselves and changing that. We've let years and years and years of self-doubt and just compound into beliefs that we have about ourselves that just aren't helpful for us, because we truly are amazing people. Every single one of you that's in this room, I know how amazing you are firsthand. I just think that you're just the world, just awesome. But sometimes we forget it ourselves how awesome we are. So I just want to encourage you to keep telling yourself how amazing you are, because it's so true. Anyway, I'm going to get emotional here because that's what I like to do the most. I just love to be all sappy and emotional. But the last thing that we got to do, or I guess it's the last thing before we go, is we have to plan for the week. How are we going to incorporate this into our life, into the week ahead, into the months ahead, into changing our identity? Instead of being a person who always needs a snack after dinner, who always needs to have dessert before she goes to bed, before I am someone who can work out really, I do really good for 2 weeks, and then the third week I just don't work out, and I don't know why. Instead of being that person who never can hit her water goals, instead of being a person who can never achieve any goal, what can we do to change these beliefs and these identities? Some of these, unfortunately, were formed when we were 5 or 6 or 7. It's crazy how things from years and years ago can affect us later in life. But let's just make a plan for it. Once we're aware of it, okay, cool. I recognize this is going on. I recognize I talk to myself in this way. I recognize that I do this pattern of behavior. I recognize whatever. And this is what I'm going to do going forward in order to change it up, to make it a little different, to be this new person, this awesome person that I am becoming. So think about it. How are we going to do that? How are we going to make it part of our lives? That's pretty important part to the whole thing. Missy's right. You are all spectacular and amazing and awesome. Awesome. Anyway, that was it. That's it. I think I was supposed to have another song for us to journal to, but I didn't. And because I fast forwarded on that last one because I changed up the whole thing and I forgot. So anyway, excuse me. I cannot thank you guys enough for being here today. I did just how much it means to me that you were here to watch this live stream. Really means a lot. So thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being part of Saturday Morning Ritual. Remember how powerful your subconscious mind can be. Just be aware. Know that you can change it, that you can reprogram your mind. We've got all these neural pathways that we can create new ones. We can modify them. We have like all of these awesome skills that we can do. It's amazing. So come back next week. We're going to talk about more cool, fun stuff on, ways that we can just be the most awesomest us's that we can possibly. Is that even a thing? I don't even know. Anyway, come back for more. I will see you. I want you to stay curious and stay determined. Keep writing stuff down, keep exploring, and keep achieving your dreams. I will see you guys next week. As always, it's going to be an adventure. Bye. Bye.